What's up, party people? We are back, baby. Yes, another year of SJU begins today for you right now. So we obviously missed a lot of news over the break as we were partying, as we were wont to do. What'd you guys do over break, by the way? I haven't even asked. Happy New Year, you guys. Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. The first time we see each other face to face is on this show because we don't have an office anymore. And a quick update on that. We will eventually be back in the studio at some point. Probably by the time the Catherine Zeta-Jones variant finishes sweeping through the nation, we'll have opened up our offices again and we can do the show in person. But till then, hey, how's everyone doing?
Good. So yeah, I just went, it's so funny because not funny, but weird, because had if my plane been scheduled to leave 2 days later, I would have just stayed in town because everybody got COVID. Oh my gosh. So I get back home and everybody had COVID. Yep. But yeah, it was good. I went and saw the Speederman. I came back and I was really worried that my cats were gonna hate me, and they're so needy. They're literally not letting me. They'll just stare at me just to make sure I'm still here. I am woken up several times a night by a cat just staring at me from above. So
I want you to remake The Lost Daughter, but just with your cats, and that joke will make sense once people have caught up on that film. Eric, I want to see the flashbacks. Anyways, Eric, what did you do over break?
I went and saw Spider-Man and Licorice Pizza a few times each, and then I just try to catch up on TV shows and movies and watch The White Lotus. That's a good show.
Good show, right?
So good.
Yeah.
And a few other things I was catching up on. So yeah, just doing the entertainment, and then watching what Danielle said, it's all of film Twitter, which is everyone out there. COVID.
All of us. We are all on Twitter
now. Didn't get it, but that's not to say I can't at any moment, because
not to say we won't.
Yeah. World we live in. I did get tested a couple times. That was fun.
Yeah, that's always fun to sit in that line. I stayed inside and indoors with a toddler the whole time. So I've seen Encanto a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
My wife and I have no kids, and we've watched Encanto about 5 times.
It's good. I'm liking it so far. But it remains.
It gets better after the 5th viewing.
Yeah, you really start to appreciate Luisa. Okay, we are talking today about 2 big trailers that dropped while we were out, and since we're definitely not the most current of news and update shows, are we even a news show? I don't know. We're here for the lulls. So we thought we would bring
vibes. It's news vibes. What we're feeling from it.
Yes, we are the crystal egg of shows.
Yeah, we thought we'd dust off an old format left in the attic. We invented the debate.
In the same way that Puffy invented the remix. We invented
different viewpoints talking about it.
Talking about things like a pro and a con, a point to counterpoint. We invented them all here on this show. So I thought we would hand it over to Danielle, who I guess you didn't have a strong feeling one way or the other. So Eric and I are going to debate who had the better trailer. Doctor Strange 2 with the Multiverse of Madness or The Batman. I have chosen not at random, but I offered to Eric either one, and he has selected Doctor Strange 2. And I will tell him why The Batman is clearly the superior trailer. But Danielle, please take it away. Are there any rules? We didn't talk about this beforehand.
Oh gosh, how did the rules of this game go? Oh, it's a trailer fight, people. Ding, 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 ding. Thor, let them fight. Godzilla, you get it. You get it.
Graphics.
Yeah.
You got it. But yeah, so this is our SJU trailer fight, and so the rules are, I don't know, were there rules?
I think it's just someone talks and the other person talks, and then everybody talks until someone rings a bell, and then there's points.
Perfect. And so we are gonna go by unless someone really is aching to do it, we're just gonna go by last name. So Spenny, that puts you first.
Yes, it does, by a letter or two.
By barely. That was quick math. I know letters.
Very close.
It's quick math.
Do you ever have friends at school that you would only see when you had to line up in alphabetical order? Shout out to my friend Edward Giles, who I only saw in line for fire drills. Okay. I picked the Batman because, look, I like both of these trailers, but since this is a trailer fight, I'm going to tell you why this is the best trailer on Earth and Doctor Strange 2 is the worst trailer on Earth. Starting with the Batman. Look, this Batmobile fucks. I'm sorry, I'm demonetizing it right at the beginning.
Yes.
Look at that Batmobile. It's got a jetpack. That's definitely the coolest Batmobile I think I've seen since the original put to film, smashing through stuff. I think that there were doubts about Robert Pattinson when this got announced, much like there were about Heath Ledger's Joker. He's a pretty boy. What's this guy ever done? Oh, he's like a YA type heartthrob. No, this guy looks like he would eat you for breakfast. He looks like you gave a lot of creatine to one of the skids from Letterkenny. You guys watch that show?
It's on the list.
Let's just say they put him on the all protein diet that they've been doing with some of your favorite comedians from Marvel these days.
One more minute.
And he looks like he could absolutely rip you to pieces. And that's such a beautiful contrast with Paul Dano's Riddler, who's just like still unseen except from the back in this. Like he's just this creepy duct tape little mongrel, and you love the brains versus brawn that they're setting up in this. And this just the look of this film. You can tell this is done by a real filmmaker like Matt Reeves, who they gave a full license to execute an artistic vision of the Batman. It's gritty. It's grimy. It looks like it's crawling down in the muck of Gotham. I know that there have been realistic takes on Batman before, but this one looks like it really does take place in a crime-infested city where things are gross and dark and ugly, and that's where Batman lives when he's not being a cyber goth up in the offices of Wayne Manor. I just love, I can tell you more, but I'll let Eric speak.
All right, and that is time. Giving everybody 2 minutes. I should have probably said that, but we're already demonetized, so F it. All right, Eric, 2 minutes on the clock starting now.
With all due respect to Felicity co-creator Matt Reeves, when you talk about real filmmakers, you got to go with Sam freaking Raimi, making his return to superhero cinema here with Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. It's just cool to get him back in this world, but in this sort of darker tone with it. I love all these looks we get inside the sanctum of what he's bringing here. But first of all, this movie should win just on Shumagorath alone. This movie has a giant tentacle monster with a big eye storming down the streets of Manhattan and throwing a bus, and magic slicing that bus in half. So think about what Shumagorath could do to that Batmobile. No contest right there. Look at that. There's water in the sanctum. Why is there water in the sanctum? I want to know. I'm intrigued. Doctor Strange has only grown in popularity since the first movie. There's lots of cool, intriguing things here. America Chavez, a new character. Marvel does really well with new character guys. I remember Yelena and Kate Bishop. We didn't know them a year ago, and now we love them. So little glimpses of her are great. And of course, look at this. Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, coming off an incredibly well-received series. Just seeing her, people are cheering, and makes you psyched to go see this movie. And it's offering just a lot of exciting new directions for everything versus when I look at the Batman, which, yeah, I was excited about in 2020. That was 2 years ago when they showed us the first trailer. And now we've seen the third trailer. And guess what? Batman's dark and gritty, and there's murder in Batman, and Bruce Wayne's a sad boy. But I've seen all that. This looks like a lot of cool, exciting things. And Raimi getting to put his spin on it and to get weird and twisty and metaphysical and, like I said, tentacle monster. That's great. And then Mordo comes back and he's rocking great hair. We're finally going to get some payoff on all of that. So
finally some payoff on Mordo.
That's right.
People have been waiting.
He killed Ben Bratt 5.5 years ago. Ben Bratt will finally get his justice. So
10 seconds.
And Benedict Cumberbatch can always play evil, and it'd be really cool to see him as Evil Strange. That is why I'm psyched by everything in this trailer.
Awesome. Okay, and stop. All right, so now we have done that, and so we're just going to go because we're not going to do the point counterpoint. It's just going to be both of you getting it together, and that is going to be stop. 1 minute on the clock. Reset.
Free for all. Loud noises.
Loud noises. Go.
I mean, if the crux of your argument against the Batman is seen it before, I mean, that charge can be levied against Doctor Strange 2 and then some. I mean, how many times have we seen somebody blather on about the multiverse while they bring back cameos from characters you half remembered and barely cared about in the first place?
Like
oh my
twice.
God. What? Twice. Oh, Wanda again. Oh, wow. I haven't seen her in 6 months. How exciting that she teamed up with Doctor Strange. This is nothing. And the other thing is, you say Sam Raimi, and believe me, I was hyped too. This was, until I had to do this trailer fight, this was my most anticipated Marvel film. Now it's my least anticipated because of this trailer. And I'll tell you why. It's because Sam Raimi doesn't look like he made this movie. I saw nothing in this trailer that gave me that kind of like handmade POV, like crashing everywhere, nasty but funny tone that Sam Raimi has mastered. I need him to put a camera on a skateboard and smash it through a window for me to feel like I'm watching a Sam Raimi film. This looked like every other Marvel thing.
The visuals of the Batman look like Nolan with some red and yellow filters on them. Like when Pattinson gets out of that car, it's like, oh, that just looks like Nolan vision. Like there's nothing new visually here. Plus, you have to think about Warner Brothers. How little faith do they have in this new Batman? They got 2 other Batman coming back later this year just to be like, don't worry, guys. And then just Pattinson. It's like he's a good actor, but it's just the whole approach here with like, oh, I've got bad hair. I don't care. There's nothing new there. And by the way, they're hinting that like Alfred kept something from him about the Waynes. Is this the Amazing Spider-Man? Is this the secret history with Richard Benjamin that we all love so much? That's just nonsense to add to the Batman mythos. And it's just more of the same. The Bat and the Cat. The Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin was the tagline for Batman Returns 30 years ago. Get something new. Plus, this movie is doing Fat Face with Colin Farrell. After Jared Leto, they can't have
face, or did he really go for it?
These hot, hunky actors can't take our roles. They need to get us real fat people into these roles. And I will not stand for it.
Listen, you brought up Zoe, the Bat and the Cat. Zoe Kravitz looks amazing in this movie, and she delivers lines that could be considered cheesy, but in a way that's convincing enough, and she looks sexy as hell doing it. And I think that I
call them more milky than cheesy because of the whole cat. Yes, continue.
You brought up Shumagorath and the tentacle monster. The fact that they're tipping their hand and showing you that in the trailer means that he's probably an appetizer. He is calamari in this movie because the big reveal is evil Doctor Strange. Oh, I haven't seen that before. Oh, wait, it was in What If. I've literally seen this before. That was the last thing I watched on Disney Plus was evil Doctor Strange. He already has a goatee. You can't do an evil version of someone with a goatee. Otherwise, how do you know which one's the evil one? I rest my case.
He's wearing all dark outfit. Plus, we know with Spider-Man that they do not mind holding back on cool stuff. So don't worry, there's plenty cool stuff happening. But Shumagorath,
but we're just talking about the trailer. We had more cool stuff in the Batman trailer than we had in the Doctor Strange 2 trailer. That's why that wins the trailer fight.
All right, and time. Whew, that was very well thought. Oh, this is hard, guys. Is that what I used to say? This is really difficult. This was so hard. Both of you bringing up good points. I really liked Spenny coming out strong with the F-bomb. This might just be a war of words because we had F-bomb versus Shumagorath, both of which I wrote down and went, okay, I know how to spell one of those. We've got 2 other, the point about the 2 other bats was a fantastic point. Talking about Wanda. Eric, are you taking over my hair stuff? Is that what's happening?
I think that was pandering. I think that
I wanted to represent.
You really knew the judge there.
It's a little pandering. But I like it. But I gotta say, so this really did come down to the hair arguments for me. I'm not gonna lie.
As it should.
So, but in a way that you're not expecting, because while I definitely enjoyed the sad boy references and all that stuff was great, the evil goatee really is what did it for me. Just the idea that like how do you have a Doctor Strange with an evil goatee that we've already seen in What If when he's already got the evil goatee? How do we know which one's the real one? So it really came down to hair versus hair. But in this one, I'm going to vote for my boss because he signs my paychecks.
Oh, come on.
No, but seriously, that's just me being funny. But yeah, no, in this case is a very, very close. But that was a really good, it was good that you ended on that because that's a very strong argument that fits the kind of thing that we do here.
I only wrote down that and the Batmobile Fs. Those are my only 2
I started here, as we were kind of phasing out fights. So I only did like 3 of them before. I just remember seeing Dan and Roth get incredibly heated doing a couple of them.
You got to just leave it all in the arena. See, it's fine if I would never get mad if I lost. Otherwise, I'd be mad all the time.
I won 1. I think Joe threw it.
But in all honesty, I thought, both of these look cool. I was genuinely more excited for the Batman based on what I saw than Doctor Strange 2. But I agree that they're probably holding back the Raimi craziness because, why give that away? Right. People are going to see this regardless.
Honestly, I thought both trailers were okay, but I think both movies will be good. So
interesting.
Yeah. Super.
Ryan, Ryan, let's take it to the fans. What do the fans think?
Oh, good question. Here, let me see. There are a couple
What
There were a
was
couple
Ryan
people
doing?
in there.
Yeah, what do we think Ryan was doing? Let's ask the fans.
Eating food. Okay, so Seattle KO says it doesn't even make sense because in his continuity, all the universes were destroyed. So I assume that's referencing the evil Doctor Strange showing up. A couple of people asked about when we're going back to a studio. That's not really related to the topic.
2022.
We'd
All
love to know,
podiums.
guys.
It's
We'd
all
love to know.
podiums when we come back.
Yeah.
Adam Holbert said, yeah, surprising the trailer lack of Raimi's humor. So I think, yeah, he's commenting on the idea of, yeah, this is supposed to be a Raimi movie, but it seems just kind of like an MCU movie. Are you guys actually worried about, like, outside of the fight, are you guys actually concerned about that balance of studio versus?
I mean, a little bit. Like, I would hate to see Raimi just get absorbed into the MCU house style because his style is different and he can do amazing superhero movies that don't feel exactly like, you know, an episode of, I won't say WandaVision, an episode, a mid-season episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. Like he has more of a distinct point of view than that. So I'd love to see more Raimi-isms next trailer.
Yeah, it's funny. I legit actually with both these trailers thought they didn't have as much personality as I'd like. But while still feeling like, look, I do love Matt Reeves and Felicity is great. I just use it in the fight as
I mean, him and J.J. Abrams, what a pool of talent they had.
Felicity. It was a crazy show for many reasons. But yeah, so I watched this. The third Batman trailer I did think was kind of more of the same. But I also think Matt Reeves makes great movies. So I'm, excited for it. And same with Raimi. It's like, this trailer is okay. But yes, it's, this trailer was obviously designed to be at the end of Spider-Man, then they released it onto online a couple weeks later or so. There'll be plenty more to come to entice us.
Well, sweet. That was our first, but maybe not last trailer fight of the year. That was fun. And thank you so much for watching. If this is your first episode, wow. Hi, welcome, subscribe, like, enjoy, stick around because we do fun stuff like that. And sometimes sneak in some actual news. Like the following.
And one day we'll sit next to each other again.
One day we'll do it next to each other. One day we'll do it next to you, the viewer. So, on a bus, just ranting to ourselves. New Batman trailer. Okay, so we're doing a little 2022 DC news catch up because they dropped a whole bunch of stuff in our laps. I'm going to do these rapid fire, and then you tell me which ones really jumped out to you. Michael Keaton will reprise his role as Batman in the HBO Max Batgirl movie, which is another thing I forgot was happening. Blue Beetle, I think written by friend of the show. Wait, who wrote Blue Beetle? Is it Zach? What's his name? Our close and personal friend, Zach Spence. Zach Spence. Yeah, I want to call him Zach Spence, but then I'm like, that's my name.
Maybe he wrote drafts of it. I don't think the version they're doing now is his.
Okay. Well, still,
he is our friend, and we just
he's still our friend.
Our close personal friend.
Close personal friend, Zach Spence. We got news that the Batman is standalone from the universe. I think we could probably tell that from the trailer. They didn't have any Henry Cavills or anything. That would look kind of weird to have an Aquaman next to him. Nice haircut, bro.
Those bangs, bro.
Yeah. And then the DC streaming services, we're getting 3 episodes of Peacemaker as early as January 13th in about 10 days. So any of these bits and bobs of DC news popped to you? Are we excited for any of this, or is it just more of the same?
I just, certainly I was like, I raised an eyebrow at Keaton being in the Batgirl movie only because we'd heard J.K. Simmons is back as Gordon, presumably her father in the film. So we are getting more of this, what universe is this? And hard not to start to speculate, like, does Keaton's Batman stick around in the DCEU at the end of the Flash movie if he's somehow in this Batgirl movie as well? And I know there's a lot of bigger rumors floating around the Flash, which none of which we can know are true or not. But certainly if Keaton is in this Batgirl movie, that is sort of an interesting curveball on the what universe is this question that a lot of the DC stuff raises at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm super. I'm more Michael Keaton all day, every day. Again, that's another one. I'm happy that we're back in the Keaton-sance. I am definitely enjoying it, and it seems like he's having a really good time doing it. So yay, go team! So I am super pumped for this news. I'm still, I'm very wait and see for the Batgirl movie. There's a lot of there's a lot of Bat stuff happening between like this and like the Flash and like
the Batman.
The Batman.
2 different spin-off shows for HBO Max from the Batman that we know about, the Gotham PD one and the Penguin one.
Yeah, so it feels like, and isn't there also like a Batgirl in the Flash? I'm hearing. Maybe?
Supergirl's in the Flash.
Supergirl's in the Flash. So yeah, it's very this really feels like this is Warner Brothers, and I say this with all the affection in the world. This feels like this is their Beatles taking acid period, where they're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm into
do whatever, no rules.
Yeah, they're obviously, we've achieved full baturation. You know, they're riding that bat until the wheels fall off, or until they have to reboot it all again. And I know I just fake argued for it, but I'm the most excited that The Batman is a standalone film, because I think that that's where they do their best work, when they're either standalone or might as well be, like the Suicide Squad, is when they give a filmmaker they give them their chance to make something without having to worry about looping in all these other characters from the expanded universe. I think that's at least the best way to start making movies. And then if it's a big hit, then you can start to bring in a little Joker, a little CW Flash mixed with Matt Reeves Batman. You know, in success, you then blend it all together. So I'm excited that we've got something for everybody. Literally every type of Bat fan is getting something in 2022.
It is funny that, by the way, that Keaton is just so like all in on all this stuff right now. Because I know he did a talk show appearance a few weeks ago, and he's like, I'm filming some Vulture stuff tomorrow. Some people think it might have been for Morbius, like some additional photography, but it's like, man, that dude's just strapping on costumes left and right now.
He seems so sick of it in Birdman, but I don't know, the ending was kind of ambiguous. Maybe he's back. Maybe
this is all I want to do.
Just strap on those wings.
With some Vulture and Morbius sprinkled in, of course. You got to mix in a little bit of Morbius.
Naturally. Another thing, speaking of are they done with it or not? John Wick 4 has been delayed, which is a bummer. Almost a year. I guess it was going to come out in 2022, but it's been pushed to March 24th, 2023. Have they filmed this already?
Yes.
Okay, so they have filmed it. So it's not like, Keanu hurt himself or something like that. But are we a little worried about the franchise kind of losing steam, just in general, doing another one, or more broadly, like with a delay? Are we going to stop caring about John Wick? Or is this just going to be a delightful treat in March of next year when we're dealing with the Franz Ferdinand variant?
I think honestly, at this point, John Wick is firmly in Fast and the Furious, into that lane where it's like, you're going because it's going to be like a really fun, good time, and you're going to crack some jokes, and it's going to be great. And I think that because of that, I think it's going to keep its momentum, even though it's not coming out this year, and even though it is going to be coming out next year. I think that people are still going to line up to see it. I don't know if we're going to get people dressed up the way that they dressed up for the last one. I don't know if I'm going to see anyone dressed like a Corona bottle.
Wait, you mean they dress up did they go to the wrong theater?
No. I mean for Fast and the Furious. That would have been amazing. Just someone in a Corona bottle.
I wear this all my movies.
That's just my outfit.
Right next to a Lola bunny. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it is now in this point where it's just kind of like, it's a really fun, goofy, poppy thing. And so now if it was delayed 3 years, that would be different, but only 1 year, I think we'll be fine, because we just got a Wick. We don't need a Wick every year.
You don't think that? Yeah, you don't think that we need, like, it should be like FIFA or Madden, where it's just Wick 2022.
Don't put him on the cover; he'll for sure get injured.
It's weird because the first 3 did come out within 5 years of each other, and now there'll be a 4-year break between 3 and 4. But at the same time, first of course, there's the pandemic reasons for delays happening in the first place. Also, I've noticed, because I say this right now, I don't know what the hell the future holds. Shit's been crazy out there, guys. But right now it seems like, theaters are open. Spider-Man's making all the money. But we're seeing, of course, fewer and fewer movies hit. But when they do hit, they can hit big. And I've noticed that a few movies that moved from next year, which were Indiana Jones 5, the next Transformers movie, and John Wick, all just moved to 2023 instead of finding a space in the fall. And it feels like the reason for that is just to like, they're spacing these big movies out more than ever. Because right now it seems like, well, we're having like one big hit for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it almost is like, that's what they're almost planning on right now. It's like, what's the big hit of August? Like, what's the big hit of this month? Let's just give it a clearer berth. So I wonder if that might be a part of it.
Yeah,
too.
it definitely wasn't the Matrix 4 going up against Spider-Man. Granted, that was available at home too.
Yeah.
Do you think with this delay, is Keanu gonna? I mean, everybody fan casts him all the time. Is he gonna jump into some kind of new franchise outside of Neo or John Wick? Would you fan cast him as something else that he could take on in his new gap that he's got for himself?
There's no way he's not in movie. Like he's definitely in talks. Like there's no way he's not in talks to like enter into one of these universes. I don't know whomst. I'm not sure the whomst of it. I know that a lot of people have speculated that he would be Namor.
Okay.
Namor.
All right.
I don't know how you pronounce that. A lot of people have, or at least fan casted him as such. So yeah, we'll see him in one of these big, even if it's just for one movie, make that couple millies and get on out. I will definitely see him in something, and we'll hear about something before the next John Wick comes out. I'm like almost, I wouldn't bet money on it because I'm broke, but if I had money, I would bet money on it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there's been some rumors about Ghost Rider, but I have no idea if there's any truth to that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But he has, I mean, I think he's admitted he's met with Feige, but I'm sure every actor has met with Feige, you know?
Yeah.
I remember Catherine Hahn said she thought she was having like a general meeting with him when it turned out they had Agatha Harkness in mind. And I think it's a mix of that. Times when they're actually like, here's someone we want to pitch you. And sometimes they just like, let's talk. And when we find something right, then we'll circle back. So of course they want something with Keanu, and who knows if they've actually gotten to the like let's talk about character stage, or if it's just like, you know, well, we'll figure it out, you know, because they're you know, of course they're getting more and more obscure now. So
I know I was gonna say they're running out of iconic heroes and villains to play. I mean, you have obviously X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to come back at some point, but I'm having a tough time placing him as anyone in there. He's like in between, you know, Professor X and like Cyclops age, at least in appearance. Right. So he's not a Magneto.
Dr. Doom.
You really want to?
I just don't think he's bitter enough.
Dr. Doom.
This is Latveria.
This is Latveria.
The accursed Richards. Now I want it.
Yeah, that's all I want. Oh well. Okay. I think that it does run the risk of so many more John Wick imitators coming out between now and then, because we've had the good ones of like Upgrade and Nobody, but I feel like there's going to be so many. There already are. I guess we just forget the bad ones of like, you messed with the wrong person's dog or a kid or whatever. And we have to see the action, you know, because we're going to get the Continental TV show with Mel Gibson, and the ballerina spinoff. And can this really, you know, sustain like multiple spinoffs, or do we just want to see John Wick? I think we'll have to find that out. Okay, well, let's pause now to give a brief toast to one Betty White, who we lost over the break. I was going to say too soon, but she had a long and happy life, by all accounts, and was was an icon of the screen, certainly for anyone with an interest in comedy. She was 99 years old. Died peacefully at her home in Los Angeles, less than 3 weeks before her 100th birthday, and you know, just put a button on 2021 that seemed appropriate for a crappy year, but she will be missed. You may remember her from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Golden Girls, and just being an icon. Any Betty White memories or tributes you'd like to share? Well, when you mentioned when you like sort of caught yourself saying 99 too soon seems weird, I did retweet someone who said, the thing about Betty White is, you know, you've lived a good life if you die at 99, and people are like, too soon. You know, it's like, and that does kind of say it all. Because it is crazy. Like, you know, I was reading some of the, you know, things about her career, and it is crazy, like how big a sort of like beloved icon she was before even like the 2 TV shows that made her kind of most famous for, you know, decades to come after. That she's just been perennially like on TV. Like she was on TV, they were saying like 1939 when there was almost no TVs. But yeah, just like amazing presence, like the fact that like she just seemed like her comedy timing, some of the clips people have been sharing of Golden Girls and stuff, it's like she just always like killed it. She was like genuinely seemed like a really nice person, but she was funny as hell. Good combo. So
yeah, just like no one has anything bad to say about her. I wish we could all go out like that, right?
That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I'm like a huge Golden Girls fan. Been a huge fan. Like I still go back and watch the episodes. They're still so funny. She could have chemistry with a rock. You see it because they show like there was a time when she was actually, I believe, given her own talk show for a little bit, or at least they did a pilot because they were trying to like, because she is so likable and she can like pull these things out of people and she's great off the cuff. There have been a couple of really good, okay, you have got to stop whatever you are doing.
I see we're talking to an animal.
yes. I'm being clawed. But it's you know, she was still doing stuff like all the way up until she passed, which is just what a life well lived. And you know, there's been clips going around of her doing her improv and doing like these improv clips where she is like people are straight up corpsing on the set of Golden Girls because she's so funny, you know, and she won the Queen. The Queen loved her. The Queen of England was a huge fan of the Golden Girls, loved all of them, loved Betty White. In fact,
and she likes corgis, so you know she has good taste.
You know she has good taste. Staged a live show for them, so she could watch them live, like in England, like in this big theater. Yeah, just Betty White. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, obviously it's sad because we loved her, but wow, what a life. I dream of having a life that she had, you know, very well worth it.
Yeah. Yes, and also one of the all-time great SNL guests. And yes. I know they re-aired her episode.
Fan campaign to get her to host that worked. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We got it right this time, fans.
Yes.
That was really, really fantastic. So she will be missed. Yes, all our love and respect to her. We'll end with a single fan question because I think that's all we have time for today. Unless you guys have want to go somewhere else, I'm interested in this last one by James Bunt. What is your favorite movie pitch stuck in development hell? I remember hearing about a movie pitch about modern knights, like Michael Caine having to save the UK. Modern knights, like people who've been knighted. That's hilarious because it's all like actors and musicians. Yes, put Michael Caine in armor and make him save Britain. I want to see that.
Yo, it's always going to be the Kevin Smith Superman for me.
Okay.
It's always going to be that one. He's talked about that. I'm sure everyone here who loves movies has heard the story about how he met with a director who for one thing Kevin claims is that he would try to like mix up the names and like in his pitches and in his outlines and say like sometimes Son of Jor-El, the Kryptonian, the Man of Steel, and dude would be like, I don't know, who is this? Like we're talking about Superman. He's like, no, that is okay, fine. And then kept insisting that there be a giant spider, and then the giant spider showed up in another movie they did called Wild Wild West. You can watch the honest trailer for that right now. Pluggity plug. So for me, I think that will always be the one, if only because like I just want to see it. I want to see it. And I think that was the one that had Nick Cage attached to it.
Yes,
it is a screen test.
Yeah. Want to see it.
The giant spider, of course, was at the band of John Peters, played by Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza. And there is a line in that movie that is directly pulled from Kevin Smith's stories about John Peters and made me laugh uproariously to see it again in that movie. I hate only going to like familiar IP stuff because I know if I thought about this for a while, I would think about some of like the great like, just like, you know, a movie someone wanted to make forever. But one I'll mention is Guillermo del Toro's Haunted Mansion movie. Which I was at Comic-Con when he announced. Comic-Con 2010, Guillermo del Toro made a surprise appearance during the Disney portion and said, I'm making Haunted Mansion. This time it'll be good. You know, and it just sounded like such a cool mashup of filmmaker and, you know, concept. And he's like a giant Haunted Mansion fan. I went to the display of his like art at LACMA when they had like stuff from his house and he has stuff directly pulled from Haunted Mansion. So I just thought that would be such a cool thing. Guillermo del Toro, infamous for being attached to a million projects that didn't happen, about a dozen of which sound like they would have been cool. But because I'm the Disney freak I am, that's the one that got away for me. They're making a new Haunted Mansion movie and I hope it's good. But I would have always liked to have seen Del Toro's.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I guess I would be excited for the Gladiator 2 script that exists that never got made by Nick Cave. And I think as I was just re-looking it up, Ridley Scott says that there is a script for Gladiator 2 that he actually is attached to make. I don't think it's this one. I would assume it's not this one, where Maximus, it ends with him going to the afterlife, talking to the Greek gods, and then he's reincarnated as various warriors throughout time, fighting throughout history in like a Faustian bargain, which seems awesome and weird, and probably not what it's going to be when we finally see it. But I do like Ridley Scott is on this streak. I mostly like The Last Duel, and I think that he's got this Napoleon movie coming out either this year or next year that sounds amazing. So I like Ridley Scott returning to historical epics. So why not have him do all of the history with Maximus fighting his way through time and space?
I love when franchises kind of go crazy. I just went saw Gremlins 1 and 2 back to back, and I love when a sequel is just like, you know what? F it.
Yeah.
Let's just do. Let's just go in a totally outlandish direction. Why not?
So on that note, you know what? F it. We're going to be back tomorrow with more SJU instead of commentaries, and then another SJU on Wednesday. So we got a whole week's worth. We'll see if the news lasts until then, but we'll be here. Thank you so much for watching again. Let's have a great year together, okay? Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.